So this is a approximately edited section of the adventures of Totsluker. And for the eagle-eyed, and for those people who have an ear to the ground, you will recognize a very famous singer inside a newspaper kiosk. I won't tell you the name. Let me see if you can recognize her. Anybody recognize the singer? Correct. Okay, not so much an exegesis, not so much a discourse, but a demonstration of a range of arrangements for the notion of putting image to music, for the greater excitement of the phenomenon of cinema. Anybody have a comment or a question?
Do you comment in a sense on the nature of the medium, cinema, with this seriality of movements? Is it a kind of meta statement related to the stage?
Well, it's an obvious sort of, within itself, within quotes, self-conscious examination of what the cinema does and how it's organized, almost like in a pre-cut form, so giving you all the material, allowing you to make decisions. And one of the characteristics of the Totsluker suitcase is that, in a sense, no one character ever wholly plays one part. So it's almost like a continual auditioning system. So Mr. Totsluker will be played by many, many different people, and there's a way in which you have to make some decisions about who he really is. It's analogous to the proposition of the whole project that there's no such thing as history, there's only historians. Did he look like that, or did he look like this? Or was he like that, or did he behave like this? To give all the possibilities for a multiplicity of character. And since it's all based upon the atomic number of uranium, there are 92 actors, and if each actor is played by at least 3 people, you can see there's an awful lot of personnel to consider and deliberate on. But the whole project is 8 hours long of cinema time, 4 back-to-back DVDs, 2 CD-ROMs, several websites, a 16-part television series, and a shelf full of books. So there's a lot of space to do some maneuvering on.
Do you find that you're going any particularly different direction now? It seems that you've done a lot of different approaches to working with musicians, and you've gone through quite a few in your time. So the question is, have you found a comfortable way of working that you prefer, or do you like to experiment as you go along as well? Or are you doing something specifically now that you weren't doing before?
Well, I'm not a composer. That's not my background. I wish it was. But in that particular direction now, there is a way that maybe the musically untrained have greater and greater access to music production. And you could see in that last thing where we bastardized that Strauss waltz, there is ability to sample and resample and re-interfere. So we're doing a lot more of that now. But that's the way that Boris Krisnik himself works. He works by appropriation and by sampling. So I think it's a legitimacy which is very common now about contemporary music all over the world.
What do you think of one of our faculty member, DJ Spooky, who has been here now for 2 summers and will return? He's, for example, at the moment here in Switzerland, invited by Pierre Boulez to do a remix of one of Pierre Boulez's operas. Is that somebody, you know, as a young black guy, 30-year-old, who sits there on his computers like on an instrument and plays this music, and very knowledgeable guy too. Is there somebody you would like to work with?
I would be happy to make all those sorts of approaches. Yeah. And I like the analogies too, because it is a sort of interactive, it is a sharing, non-auteur situation, and I'm delighted that somebody with the status of Boulez is prepared to entertain that idea.
He's also a good friend of Philip Glass, actually, and Philip Glass probably will be one of our future professors, so we bring him over maybe with DJ Spooky to totally different generations in one place. Yeah. But let me ask you a philosophical question. I'm sorry, it's Friday night, I know, but this is my only opportunity to be in your class, otherwise I'm excluded there. And every year again, I get a little closer to what I call, or you call, but probably I call, your independent visual project. That you want to liberate the visuals from the stories, etc. But what I saw here was something not different, but even more specific. It is actually maybe not that you want to liberate only the visual language. You maybe want to liberate all the languages possible. The gesture, the paintings, the music, the visuals, and the writing.
The dance, the whole gamut of possibilities.
So all this lecture, and the way you do it is probably very near to what how Spinoza once solved the problem of mind and body. You know, a problem everybody still is so involved in, the question who is influencing who is the master, who is the slave, what was first, what was second. For Spinoza, he said, mind and body are acting independently, like on parallels. They never meet. But there is a kind of osmosis between them. If the body is happy, the mind works better than the other. Not that they have a direct relationship, but on this parallel, they kind of sense their different energies and can work on that. And that somehow I felt the intensity of these different languages. They have not spoken directly to each other, but because they had so much fun in this direction, the other language started to do that too. So somehow maybe your liberation project is this project of allowing parallel languages to be at their best without caring if they fit together. Because this probably in our mind or understanding will take place maybe, that we made a Gesamtkunstwerk out of it, a comprehensive work of art. But in fact, in front of us, they allowed to play all their own tune.
The fact that you feel that they don't fit might of course be relative to your understanding and your appreciation and the sheer novelty of the activity. Like, for example, when you put calligraphy and dance together, they are, you know, unexpected, like the meeting of a sewing machine and an umbrella on a dissecting table. There's an unexpectedness there, which maybe you have to meet your own coherences in order to put together.
No, but I mean, maybe I said it wrong. I don't mean that they don't fit. I mean they fit them. But it's not the fitting of, what's that, a communication which has been scripted, so to speak, you know, to say who is now first, who is second. They all have the power to play their own way. Yeah. And then they fit. Because of that, if we had tried to make them fit, we would be in kind of trouble. Yes. So actually, your greatest skill is to let them go, instead of, if I understand, maybe you are not, maybe you're trying every little thing to control every little thing, but maybe this total control is the same as total non-control. So
it is also, I suppose, you know, a deeply political and social gesture, that I feel that so much cinema, so much so-called orthodox moving image material is so thin, is so banal, is content with not giving necessarily huge amounts of information, so that cinema very largely has become a dull little puddle where everybody has put their feet now, and we're so familiar with the genres, we're so familiar with the tropes, we're so familiar with the stories, and also the simple lines of demarcation, whether it's narrative or based upon any other structure. So almost like an attempt to get away from that, I'm interested in overload, I'm interested in excess, I'm interested in trying to put all these different languages together to make a richer, thicker, more exciting texture, which after all is more like life anyway.
Now, I don't think the problem, or your problem, our problem is overload, no way. It's underload.
Well, it's not necessarily. Maybe you are particularly emancipated at this degree.